Hi, it's Mike from 24 Hour Solar Power here, and today we're talking about our 48 volt 5 kVA kit and what it can and can't do. With the 48 volt 5 kVA kits, our most common system that we supply is the Victron Easy Solar. These are great when it comes to a brand new build. You don't have any circuit breakers and stuff like that because it actually comes with it all. So the Easy Solars are pretty good like that. If not, we can pre-build a subboard, put it there, and your electrician can hook everything up to that. So this is basically what they look like installed with the 48 volt 5 kVA Easy Solar. So the minimum with these ones here is basically a couple of batteries. So this is what it sort of looks like once it's installed. They require to be in a lockable room or a room that requires accessing by a tool. So this customer here is built in a little room, and there's a door that goes on here. You can see that's sort of the door jamb. So this is lockable. You want the room to breathe, be cool, and not get hot. So he's put some tiles on here to help with the temperature regulation. And in this situation here, battery cover is not required purely because it's in a lockable room on a nice cool floor. So that's what that sort of looks like there. And I'll give you another example of, in farm sheds. This here is one we whacked in a farm shed. We've supplied this cupboard. These cupboards can add a bit of cost to the cost of the system, purely because they're IP rated, they've got fans, all that sort of stuff in them to vent and to protect their fully lockable cabinet. These here in reality could actually go outside and wouldn't actually require to be in this shed, and we had it put in the shed just for a bit more protection to look after the system. So yeah, that's what they sort of look like install these 48 volt 5 kVA Easy Solars. Let's get into what the quote looks like and what the system can and can't do. All our systems, we offer customers a choice of solar panels. All really comes in your budget. Panels can be one of the biggest things that changes the price of a solar system, and a lot of companies will use really good inverters, really good batteries, or they use really cheap batteries, one of the two. And panels is where everyone thinks that panels are just panels, and they're not. The biggest price difference, I suppose, from our point of view on these systems, a poly panel is always cheaper than a mono panel. And a mono panel will outperform a poly panel over the period of time. But basically from 24 Hour Solar Power, when you're getting a design from us, what it is really the warranty. These are a full 12-year combined warranty. They do have a 25-year performance warranty, which in my opinion is not worth the paper it's written on. And the SunPower have a 25-year combined warranty. So it's a full warranty for 25 years. And these ones are a 12-year warranty, and I really only talk about the warranties that's going to cost you or me money, basically. So in 12 years, if anything happens to this panel, it'll be covered under warranty, and this one here in 25 years. So that's your options. With SunPower, they do have two panels. From an early on point of view, we've got a couple of these two different panels on our testing roof out the back. It's more the longevity at the end of the 20, 25 years, or sort of after that 10-year mark, the real difference between these two panels. This SunPower Max-End panel's got a full copper sheeting on the back. You look at most solar panels, like these poly panels, they've got lots of little lines on the front, they're all little solders. And what mainly fails in solar panels is those solders, because in Australia we have such extreme heat and cold in the one day. We can wake up in some of the areas in the Great Divide Range where it's minuses, and then we're at a 30-degree day later on that day. So the solders break. This type of panel minimize those solders on the front of the panel, so there's a lot less connections between this one and this one. And these ones here got a full copper sheeting on the back, which allows, it's a patented single stitch design, which makes these SunPower panels really going to perform over the 25 years. A lot better than anything else that we sort of offer. So that's the sort of real difference. And if you select the options of the panels, you've got 3 different choices. We will normally supply you a choice depending on your budget. We try and maximise, get you the best, biggest quality system as we can for your budget. So it's really important that we can understand what you're looking to spend, so we can really help you maximise that. With the racking that we supply, there's 2 different types of racking, Radiant or Clenergy. They're both premium racking. It's going to come down to where you are based of what we supply. Pretty much anywhere from Newcastle to Queensland, if we supply a system up there, it's normally the radiant that we supply because all the wholesalers have it. It's easy to get hold of up in northern New South Wales or northern Australia, and most of the wholesalers stock Clenergy down south. So we try and supply a racking that's going to be close to where you're at. If we're installing the system, we're always going to supply radiant. Just try and make your life easy to get. So it's more really a wholesale thing. These two are probably the radiant is a more premium racking kit. Yeah, so it is a couple of $100 more expensive, and we're installing radiant. If we're installing a system, we always use radiant. From an installation point of view, it just saves time for us as a business. Now, panel angle is one of the most important things that you'll do. There's a lot of information on the internet about the panel angles, keep it flat to your roof, and that's great for a grid connected solar system. When it's off grid, we want that winter angle because in summer, when a panel's flat, they perform better in summer, and the more they stand upright, the better they perform in winter. Now, in summer, long days compensate for bad angles. In winter, nothing compensates for bad angles. We've got short days. We want to get the maximum amount of our panels. Most of our systems will set the panel to somewhere between 30 to 60 degrees, and it all really comes down to your winter usage. Now, we can put extra panels up to sort of compensate for that, but the reality is you're better off having your panels on the right angle in winter, a minimum of 30 degrees if you're going to be off-grid, because that winter performance, nothing compensates for short days and bad weather in winter. So the solar tripods, highly recommended. They are adjustable and really depend on your roof angle and your usage is what it all comes down to. So if you're someone that in winter, your solar system's just going to run your lights, TVs and fridges, you're going to use a fire to cook and heat most of your stuff, well then maybe you can get away with not pulling the solar tripods up. It's all really going to come down to your usage and your habits and how you want power in winter. But we highly recommend most of the time put the panels up. If you've got a dead flat roof, you'd want the tilt frames. Pretty much if your roof is anything less than 20 degrees, I'd highly recommend looking at putting tilt frames up regardless. Otherwise, you're just not going to be happy camper in winter. You're just not going to get the production that you want from your solar system, and you'll be adding more panels or doing reworks. It's just going to cost you money. Something to consider. So these are the easy solars. And so how they work is basically, these are an inverter charger all in one with your subboard in them, all the monitoring, everything. If there's internet access there available, you can share your information with us and we can monitor your system, or we can troubleshoot anything wrong remotely. With the system, you can log in and have a look. So that's your inverter charger. So with these, if you think about an inverter charger off grid, it's about how many, these are 5 kVA, so it's about how many appliances you can run at once. As long as your batteries have enough charge in them, these are quite comfortable. You can run first thing in the morning, run a kettle and a toaster at the same time. There'll be no problems. So you can sort of double, you can turn up to 5,000 watts at any one time. Consider temperature D ratings. Even though they're a 5,000 kVA inverter, these run about 4,000 watts if they've been hot and treated, running a consistent load all day long. So for example, if you're running an air conditioner all day long, the aircon's running, this is charging your batteries, it's really going to put the inverter under stress. And what we highly recommend is that if you consider running an air conditioner or a heavy load that's going to run all day long, we recommend putting in these grid connected inverters in, or what we call an AC coupled inverter. So in this system design here, we rack 4 panels direct to batteries, so literally they'll charge directly to your batteries of a day. And these AC coupled inverters, these are designed to run flat out all day, every day. These AC coupled inverters, there's a lot less losses. So basically from your panels to your power points, these are going to lose somewhere between 5% of energy conversion from your panels to your power points from these grid connected inverters, where there's one from batteries. If we put all the panels straight into batteries, you can lose 20 to 30% from the power that's produced on your panels by the time it gets into batteries and get out, or the conversion losses. So something to consider if you do plan on running air cons and things like that. And with these grid connected inverters, we can actually put 1-to-1. So we can put a 5 kilowatt off-grid inverter here, a 5 kVA off-grid inverter, and we can also put a 5 kVA AC coupled inverter, which basically allows, we can put 6.5 kilowatts of panels into this, and we put 6.5 kilowatts of panels into this. Now, if you're looking at a system that size, probably look at our next kit and up to the 8 kVA inverter. But that's what's possible with these two systems here. you can have about 12 kilowatts of panels mounted on these two systems without buying any extra products if we put a 5 kVA inverter on. So on these bigger systems, we use a redback battery enclosure. Now, basically, with these redback battery enclosures, they can handle up to 4 batteries. So the minimum we would recommend in this size system is a minimum of 3 batteries. Now, you can get away with 2, and it all comes down to your energy loads and things like that. So the minimum is 2 that you can get away with these size systems. And so this system here is a 5 kVA. It's got a minimum of 2 batteries in there. We would recommend to put 3 in, but like I said, you can get away with 2. It all comes down to both those customers don't have air conditioners. It's just lights, TVs, fridges, kettle, a toaster, run a microwave, things like that. If you do plan to run heavy loads like air conditioners, like I said, we highly recommend put the ABB in with the grid connected inverter, the AC coupled, and have a minimum of 3 batteries. Your battery storage is going to come down to your usage overnight. And when living off grid, think about that. You get your daytime usage, which is the more you can use of a day, it's cheaper and easier because it all comes directly from panels. And overnight, the batteries are expensive. And with panels, the more panels you add, the more rebates you get. With batteries, the more batteries you add, the more cost you just add to the system cost, and there's no rebate or anything like that. So we give 3 battery option choices in our 48 volt systems with the 5 kVA inverter. These are the Power Plus Eco batteries. So these will have a warranted period between 60 and 80% usable capacity at the end of 10 years. Now this is their premium battery from Power Plus. You just click on the brochures, it'll go through and show the warranties and stuff like that. Now this battery here, they warrant a minimum of 80% usable capacity at the end of 10 years. So this is a 4 kilowatt hour battery storage. This is a 3.3. And the quantities are all editable. So if you want to go, right, I want to add 4 batteries up front, Mike, you just put 4 batteries in there. It's going to change the price of the quote. So you can have a play around with that. Like I said, these cupboards here come fully pre-wired. They can take 4 batteries. If you do buy 2, you can just add 4 in the future, add another 2 in the future, and you're good to go. So you can grow up to 4. And then the Zenergy battery. Now with these Zenergy batteries, they're an LTO technology. They come with a full 20-year warranty. So for you as a customer at the end of the day, what you're really buying and the difference between these two is your lights are still going to be as bright, doesn't matter which battery, your kettle's still going to work, your toast, it's all going to work exactly the same. It's just more the warranty period that you're buying. These batteries handle the heat a lot better. They can be mounted on a wall outside or inside. You don't actually require a battery cupboard. And all these systems, you continue buying batteries and keep adding and growing. And like I said, if we can have access to the system online remotely, you can just call up, we can post your battery, you plug it into the cables there. I said, these come pre-wired for 4 batteries. If you only buy 2, we can ship another 2. You put them in, plug it in, we can jump online remotely, and we can change the settings so you've got access to your new storage. So yeah, so what you're really getting as a customer at the end of the day is that twice the warranty. These handle the heat better. So these come with a full 20-year warranty. So after 20 years, well, up to 20 years, they're going to guarantee that you've got 80% usable capacity out of these batteries, and they can be mounted to the wall. They do take up a lot more space than these rack-mounted batteries. Like I said, most off-grid situations, just put them outside on the wall. If you can put them internally in the shed, even better. Any of this technology, the cooler it runs, the better it is and the longer it's going to last. So that's sort of the different options that we do. We also can supply generators. So the generators that we normally supply are all something that you can take to any local shop and get it fixed. So we always like to work with a Honda or a Dunlite because there's loads of service centres all over Australia that will fix Honda Dunlite generators, or a Kubota. It really depends on your budget and what you're looking for. These are just optional items. You can actually just select the option if you want to add it to the quote. Don't select 2, it'll be a very expensive price. So with the STCs, if we're supplying and installing the system, these STCs are only available if we install the solar system. Now, if you're planning to do a DIY or something like that, you won't get these STCs. So send us through an email and we can send you through a quote design. But basically just an overall overview of what this system can and can't do. It's sort of designed for that customer that's got a, probably about a family of 4, you're on a toaster kettle, a microwave, things like that. with these systems, you can run a small air conditioner. You know, I've actually got a smaller inverter than this at my house. I've actually got the 3 kVA inverter, and I run a 7.1 kilowatt cooling capacity air conditioning all of a day though. It's all done of a day. The minute the sun disappears, we turn it off. We don't take it from batteries. Basically, the 7.1 cooling capacity, and that 7.1 kilowatt cooling capacity, I actually have these two inverters. So I've got a 3 kVA and a 3 kVA, 3 kilowatt grid connect inverter, and a 3 kVA off grid inverter. So pretty much for me, sun's got to be cranking. Optimum thing in the middle of the day, turn the air conditioner on, because it pulls about 2,500 watts when the air conditioner first starts up, and then as the day goes on, it drops down to about 1,300 watts. With most of this stuff going off grid, the best money you will spend is energy efficient appliances when you're doing your build, which I've got another video which I'll link in the description below in this playlist, so you can see what things I recommend if you are lucky enough to build from scratch. Yeah, there's so many things you can add to help you save money with solar systems, and just simple little things like, for example, with my house, we double glazed all our lounge room. We're testing that at the moment, and on average, our room's about 10 degrees cooler inside than outside. You know, we've had a few days over summer where it was 40 degrees almost on the outside, and inside the house, it was still in the 20s, like high 20s, 27, 28, 29, with no mechanical cooling. So we didn't have any fans running, no air conditioners, and we were still under that 30 degrees. So it's things like that where if you can get that right, you don't require to create the energy and do it. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate to be of service. If you want an itemized quote, design, send us through an email. The link will be below, and we'll get something to you. And hopefully we can be a part of your DIY or fully installed journey of going off grid. So thank you. Have a great day.